Okay guys, so in lesson 3 you're going to use some basic shapes to create an illustration, and this is going to start really getting you into using the tools in Adobe Illustrator and getting used to rotating things and working with anchor points and changing colors. Gives you more practice for what you've learned and adds some things to it. I'm not going to go over the whole book with you guys because that makes the videos too long, and it's pretty straightforward, but there are a couple areas that I think might trip you up that I wanted to go over with you. So first thing is the drawing modes. So eventually toward the end of the chapter you're going to create an orange slice, and you're going to put this artwork into it, and we want to make sure it only shows in the orange slice. So just know I'm going to make a big version of this, and I'm not going to actually show you what you're going to do with it because I want to make this quick. But drawing modes allow you to do 3 different things. The drawing normal is just like now. Every time you add something, if I were to add random shapes here, and as I keep adding them, you can see that they are overlapping. So that's normal mode, is that it's going to overlap every new thing that you create. Now, if you were to do something called draw behind, what that's going to do is if I were to draw a shape and this wedge is selected, but see how if I draw the shape it automatically puts it behind, but it's still in front of all of these shapes. So the other thing you can do with draw behind is if nothing's selected, then if I come here, and I'll just do a different color so you can see it. Alright, so that's a hideous color. Oh well. Okay. So if now I was going to draw behind, it's going to put him in front of behind every single thing in your document. Now this is ignoring layers, so when we get to layers you'll see differences with that. But if you need like a background, that's what you're going to do with this project, is you're going to put a background, and you'll already have all this stuff on there. And instead of putting it on and then trying to get it all the way to the back, you just do draw behind, and it's not a big deal. So then the third mode is draw inside, and you can see it's not giving me that option right now because I have nothing selected on the page. Draw inside only works if you have something selected, because it's going to draw inside of that selected object. Now you can also paste things into here, and it will paste them and only put it in that selected object. But I'm just going to grab a paintbrush, and because my stroke is black, it's going to paint black. But notice that if I come over here, it looks like it's drawing outside of the orange slice. But then when I let go, it totally lied. That was draw behind because I didn't change it. Okay, with this selected, now if I do draw inside, do you see how it has the dashed lines around it? So that's telling you what object it's going to draw inside of. So again, if I grab my paintbrush and I draw out here, it's only going to affect the wedge. So if you ever wanted to make a basketball, you could definitely do that quickly using just a circle and then drawing with the paintbrush. So that's draw inside. To get out of it, you just come in here and do, nope, wrong one, draw normal, and there we go. If you need to come in and edit these, you can go into isolation mode, and then you can see that if I wanted to pull that line down or anything like that, I can still do that, so it's still kind of live and editable. Okay, so then the other thing I wanted to show you is it's going to talk about the polygon, and shoot, I don't want, oh my gosh, I'm trying to do this too fast. Okay, so I'm going to click off, choose polygon, make it green, make it have no stroke, and then what you're going to do is you're going to draw this polygon, and just know that if you hit the arrow keys on your keyboard, it will allow you to add or delete sides, and that's true of the star. It's actually true of a lot of different shape tools. And then when I come here, notice that I can round all of these corners. I'm going to go ahead and undo, but just so you know, if I wanted to round only specific corners, then I can click the direct selection tool and then round that specific corner. Why didn't it work? Well, that's because all of them are selected. So if I just select one, see how this one's blue and these ones are all kind of hollow, and if I click that, it's going to allow me to just curve that specific one. So that's just something to be aware of, is that you kind of have to choose which one you're trying to affect, and sometimes when it looks like it's only one thing selected, actually all of them are selected, like the first time when it started rounding all of them. So you're going to do that not with this shape. It's going to look more like this, and you're actually not going to curve these. You'll curve these to eventually make these leaves quickly and easily. Let's see, the other things, I think, ellipse tool. There are other things when you come in here. You see this little pie tool. If you grab that, you can create one of these open-ended pie things. And then once you move that one, you can then adjust that one if you need to. So I think that's the ones that people have had trouble with, is the different drawing modes, and then how do you select just one, and then some of the shape extras that you can do. And they're going to look like just regular handles here, but they'll look a little bit different. So like, where is it? So that polygon, remember when I said you can do up or down to create sides? Well, if you've already created it, how do you change the sides now? Well, there's going to be this tiny little, see how it's not exactly in the center or on the corner, and it has a plus or minus when you hover over it. If you go minus, it's going to actually take sides, and if you add, it's going to add sides. And then if you do this star shape, just play around. See how I'm playing outside of the artboard? This helps you to experiment without feeling the pressure, and I don't care if you turn it into me and there's all this stuff around it. Sometimes it adds to the file size, so you don't want to make massive and do like 85 things in there or make them all like 50 feet tall, because then that'll make your file too massive. But this barely adds anything, all these little drawings. But when I draw this star, if I hold shift, see how it perfectly stays straight, whereas if I don't have shift, I can rotate it. And then if I do the up arrow, it'll add points. And then if I hold the alt or option, it's going to spread out from the center. And then if I hold, what is it, control or command, it's going to allow me to create super crazy spikes or like a little sheriff's badge or whatever I need to create with that. So that's a way to really create some cool shapes with the star tool if you know those keyboard shortcuts. So as you're going through this, take your time with it. These are essential skills because you're going to do this in every illustration. You're going to create a new document, make sure it's print settings, and then as you go through it, you're going to probably rotate objects multiple times in every single document you create. Rounding corners is something you do frequently, etc. So take your time with it, and if you have any questions, let me know.